move on back. Dile, pum, pum, pum. ¿Pasa, mami? ¿Está? Jiji. Let's look at futures. Yeah. Yeah. Hello, everyone. Barely joining the live. Welcome to the live, guys. We'll get started in a couple minutes. Just waiting for a little bit more people to join today's live. You ready? Ready to go to bed? Ready to go to bed? Yeah. You party? Boom, boom, boom. Welcome, guys. If you are new to the channel, my name is Gerardo. I am a swing trader, and I also trade for the long term. So I'm an investor for the long term. So if you guys are new to the channel, welcome, everyone. I'm here Monday through Friday, 9 to 10:30, 11ish, depending. How interactive is the chat? How many questions you guys have, how many questions I can answer for you. And that's pretty much what we do here. We talk about the stock market, we talk about the news that happened throughout the day, and then what to expect for the next day, which is tomorrow, Friday, last day of trading. So I got a lot of information to pass on to you guys to inform you if you guys are in the market, if you guys are trading or planning to trade or trying to get into trade. I'm just here. I'm just here to give you a little bit of information about what the stock market is going to look like tomorrow. So welcome, everyone. Druis, Jer, Nightshades, Icor, San. Thank you guys for being here. If you guys don't follow me on the live yet, go ahead and hit the channel. Join me, and I will be here. I'm here every day, Monday through Friday, from 9 p.m. Pacific time until 11. So join. Welcome to the live, everyone. Just waiting a couple more minutes to share a couple of news that I have today, and also what to expect for the market tomorrow. If you guys are trading tomorrow, if you guys are trying to learn how to get into the stock market, how to choose good stocks to invest in so you don't lose your money like I did when I first started. That's one of the main reasons why I started this channel, because I don't want anybody to go through the same mistakes I made, and just trying to share a little bit of the knowledge that I have. So just trying to share a little bit of what I know. That's it. And also share some of my thoughts on some of the stocks. I know you guys are planning to invest, or some of the people that have joined me in the past I'll say week, they've been asking me about a little bit of my opinion on some of the stocks, and I'm pretty transparent. I share what I know, and again, just sharing opinions. We all have an opinion, and I could be totally wrong. You could be totally right, but I'm just sharing my point of view. So that's what we do here in the chat. Again, Monday through Friday, 9 to 11. Um, let's see. Gold Killer. King, thank you for the follow. Appreciate it. Gold Killer. VIP Gold Free Signal. Link in bio. Gold Killer. Gold Killer. You promoting your channel? I mean, I don't see any other comment. But thank you for being in the live. iCourt, share the live. Thank you guys. Thank you. If you're new to the channel again and you appreciate the information I give you, if you share the live, if you follow me, I'll be sharing a lot of good information about the stock market, news that I get throughout the day. I like to share with the people in the live, and then maybe you guys know some stuff also that I don't know that might influence the market, and that way we can communicate that information to more people. So thank you guys thank you again for joining the live, and let's go ahead and get started because we are already late. Today I started a little bit later than usual. I was doing a couple things, but nevertheless I am here. So Icor, thank you for sharing the live, appreciate it. Millie, thank you for the follow, appreciate it. Day 3, let's get it. Icor, thank you, man. Is this the third day you're here? Well, appreciate your confidence in this channel. So I hope I can share some of the knowledge I have. And one day, I don't know if you're trading right now or you're trying to get into trading. If you have not yet, well, I hope that some of the stuff that I share with you is helpful and you can become a successful trader or investor. Depending on what your goal is. Edris, thank you for the follow. Thank you. Coke and Energy Transfer. Chestnut Street. Yeah, Jay Basas, thank you for the follow. Appreciate it. 3 days in a row. Yes, but I'm still reading the PDF you sent me. Oh, yeah, that's right. So I sent you a PDF about how to read charts. So I hope that it's making sense. If something doesn't make sense to you, just bring it up to the chat, and we can talk a little bit about it. And I have the charts here, so be fun to talk about it. Or if we want to talk about stocks, I mean, that's one of the main things. I don't have as much time in the chat to go into details, but we can look at a couple things. Nightshade, thank you for the follow, appreciate it. Millie, thank you for the cheers. Maestro, 10:30 over here in Idaho, but we are here from Idaho, man. How's the weather over there, Jay Cordero? Here I live in the Central Valley in California, so we get a heat wave during the summer. So it's barely starting. We hit, I think, the 90 degrees today, so it was pretty warm in the Central Valley. Thoughts on PCVX? Okay, we'll look at that in a second. Sub late, SPY, BX flipped red. The SPY, the S&P 500. I don't know. I think it closed. It closed more or less where it opened, didn't it? Let's see. Well, I mean, after the drop yesterday, because you guys probably know what happened yesterday with the bond market. Let me turn the music down a little. Yesterday with the bond market or the auction that was selling bonds didn't go as planned. I'm gonna share a little bit about that. An article that I read in the morning today. If you guys are familiar with the bonds, I explained what a bond is yesterday for those of you that don't know, and how that affects all of you that are planning to maybe buy a house or buy a car or get a credit card or paying your credit card, how that affects the interest rates. So the bond market is a market that usually makes big changes on interest rates. So we talked about that yesterday. I don't know if you guys had the chance to be here, but we can go over that really quick in a minute. See, thoughts on, okay, we'll look at that in a second. Super windy in Idaho, but nice weather for the weekend. That's great, man. We're gonna have hot weather here. It's probably gonna be in the 95, close to 100 this weekend. I don't think it's gonna get to 100 yet, but I know in the summer we definitely get at least a week or 2 weeks, and that tops the 100, 110, 115. I think that's like a record, 115, 120, the most, the hottest it gets. But it's only like one day. All right. So again, guys, thank you for joining live. If this is the first time that you are in the channel, my name is Gerardo. I am a swing trader. I also invest in the long term, so I am an investor, and this is something I do on the side on top of my job. My job during the day is teaching, and then in the mornings from 6:30 a.m. Pacific time till 8:30 a.m. I do this. I do swing trade. I don't enter into trades every day just because as a swing trader I don't have to. I just look at the market. If something makes sense, then I enter into a trade. If something doesn't make sense and I see that the market is kind of choppy, I don't see opportunity, then I skip it. I got nothing to lose. I win more when I'm patient and I enter into good trades that I know are going to pay off. So, so yeah, so that's what I do. And in at night from 9 to 11, I'm here just to talk to you guys a little bit about the market, a little bit about the economy, what's going on in the world with the stock market, everything that's connected to the stock market. So I appreciate if you guys are here, giving me some of your time before you guys go to bed, before you sleep, or some of you might be at work right now, just kind of killing some time. So whatever the case is, thank you for giving me some of your time, and I hope that you appreciate all the content that I have here to give you. So, Rusty, thank you for the follow. How you doing, man? Is Cash App a good start? Cash App user 1726. Is that if that's a stock? Send me the ticker symbol. We can look at it. User 17. Thank you for the follow. Appreciate it. Icor, thank you for sharing the live, guys. If you guys are here too, if you want to share the live, or if you can, even better, because we can bring more people into the channel, have a better conversation than the ones we have, and then if you tap the screen, give me some likes, also very well appreciated. All right, let me pull up this and let's go ahead and get started with all the stuff that I wanted to share with you guys today. All right, and what to expect for the market. So I know some of you guys might be looking for that and see what the market is going to give us tomorrow. One thing I'm gonna share first. The market on Fridays typically is very slow. Okay, because on Fridays, and especially this Friday, because Fridays are the days when a lot of the options expire. So if you guys are trading options, you know that Fridays all options expire, and either people sell off their shares or they buy back their contracts, and there's not a lot of volume. So volume means people buying, right? People buying stock. So volume is how many people buy the stock, and because there's not a lot of volume, the stocks typically don't move too much. Okay, and those are bad days to trade, because I mean you could go into a trade and if the stock is not moving, it's not paying you, then why even go into a trade? So I personally don't enter into any trades, especially as a swing trader, just because there's not a lot of movement, usually on Fridays. Now, if there are news on something that the administration comes out, because that's what I've noticed for the past few Fridays, every time there are news from the administration, from the Trump administration, the stocks do move on Fridays. Typically, then they never do. Again, because there's low volume, a lot of people, especially the institutions, the ones that buy millions and millions of stocks, they don't trade on Fridays because they don't risk what could happen over the weekend, right? Because over the weekend they can't trade because the markets close on Friday by 1 p.m. Pacific time for me. So when the markets close, then institutions can't really trade anymore, and they don't like to see what happens over the weekend because something crazy could happen. Stocks might drop by the time they open on Monday. So institutions don't really trade on Fridays either. That's why there is not a lot of volume. So yeah, so Fridays are not great days to trade unless again there are news that move the market. Like the trade deals that we have been dealing with for a little while now, or anything else that comes up in the news could move the market a little, but typically not a day, for swing traders. Day traders, sometimes they do make some money. Volume's still low, but sometimes they do make some money. What's the best day to trade, Nathan? I mean, in this market, it's hard to say. because, like I said, news come out, and then volatility is what a lot of traders like, because when you have volatility, you have opportunity. If stocks start to drop because of news, like the news we had yesterday, if you guys were here yesterday and you heard about what happened, I'm gonna explain it really quick. So yesterday we had an auction. Okay, the United States, every couple of months they have auctions to sell bonds to other countries, to sell bonds to the banks, to the local banks in the United States, J.P. Morgan, Chase, all of these big banks. So they sell the Treasury sells bonds to those banks, right? And they also sell bonds to foreigners, so to other countries that want to invest in the United States. So what happened yesterday is that um, the other countries, they were not buying bonds. Okay, they were not buying bonds, and the Treasury had to increase the interest rate that they pay for bonds so that other countries will get motivated to buy bonds. Because if they are paying investors 4% for bonds, and they say, it's too low, I don't want that bond because it's too low, 4%, I don't like it. And then the Treasury increases that interest, which they call it a yield. So they increase the yield, okay, slash percentage that they're gonna pay back, and that encourages uh, other countries to say, well, 5%, maybe that's a little worth it. Let me get some. And because they raise the yield, okay, the interest, then that kind of worried the markets a little bit, because all of these institutions that invest their money in the stock market, they said, wait a minute, the bonds are giving 5%. Let me take my money out of Nvidia, out of SPY, out of QQQ. Let me take that money and put it in bonds, because bonds are not volatile. Okay, bonds do not move up and down like the stock market does. So if I put my money in the bonds, okay, I know I'm gonna get a return 100%. I'm gonna get my money back, and I'm going to get that 5% that the Treasury is offering. So a lot of these investors, they don't like to play volatility. They like to know that their investment is safe and they're gonna get some money in return. So so that's basically what happened yesterday. Because they were offering better interest in bonds, a lot of the investors took the money out, put it um, into bonds, and that kind of worried the stock market. That's why you saw that drop. It was, I think, a 1.5% drop on the SPY, and when I saw that, I mean, I wasn't expecting it, of course, but I read a little bit about it, and I was like, this is not something to worry about. This is not something that's going to crash the market. Yes, a lot of investors left and to put their money into bonds, but the stock market has been very resilient. They Stock market has been trying to make higher highs. Okay, so we have had a couple of bad news last week. If you guys are up to date on the news, last week on Friday, this credit agency downgraded the credit of the United States. Okay, so they said, well, you don't deserve to have an 800 because you have a lot of debt. So we're gonna bring your credit down to 750. No, I mean, they don't qualify or categorize the United States with a number of credit. They give it another category that's called a triple A. Triple A, it's like pristine credit, right? Excellent credit. And the tier below that, it's called double A1. So they downgraded the United States from AAA to 001, which is equally as dropping from 800 to 750 credit. So we had those bad news on Friday, and the stock market dropped. But that did not stop the market from recovering on Monday and Tuesday. Now, yesterday we had those bad news about the bonds, and the stock market dropped again. But today it kind of wanted to recover a little bit. It was very choppy, didn't really move much, but it did not drop. So, because we're getting so close to higher highs or all time highs, the market wants to do that. The market wants to hit all time highs, and then from there, maybe it'll drop. Okay, because now we have reached the goal. Okay, the goal that a lot of investors want. That's why they keep putting their money in or back into the stock market, because they want the market to hit that all time high or close to the all time high, and then eventually maybe there'll be a sell off. Okay, maybe the news that come out after that point, maybe they'll affect the market. But as of now, the market keeps staying strong. It's resilient. It does not want to pull back to the 200-day moving average. As you guys can see here, the orange line is the 200 moving average. It does not want to touch that. It does not want to drop. So, I mean, we'll see how tomorrow is, just because tomorrow, again, it's a slow day. It's a Friday, and then it's a 3-day weekend because we have Memorial Day on Monday. So a lot of investors, they don't want to wait until Tuesday. So tomorrow we might see, maybe a red day, maybe a slow day, um, just based on what typically the market does, because they don't want to wait over the weekend because something crazy might happen. Okay, but then on top of that, we have let me see, we have news. We have Japan. Okay, Japan is coming to the United States, or the chief trade negotiator of Japan uh, is coming to talk to Trump. I'm not sure if he's going to talk to Trump, or if he's going to talk to Scott Bassett, or who's going to he's going to talk to. But the point is, he's coming to negotiate the tariffs. Okay, he will be here from Friday to Sunday. That's what I read. So he'll be negotiating a couple days, and if they do, have good talks, they might announce a good negotiation with Japan, and that's what's been pumping the market. The good news about tariffs. It happened with China when they paused the tariffs for 90 days. It happened with the UK when they agreed on a better with a better tariff percentage. So every time they announce something related to tariffs, then the stock market takes it as good news and starts to pump. So we'll see what happens. I mean, we don't know. We've seen some crazy stuff happen at the White House when they have press conferences. Something crazy happened yesterday with the president of Africa. They had some stuff happening in the Oval Office, and I don't think that affected the market much, but it wasn't a really good meeting. And then you guys saw the meeting with President Zelensky a couple weeks ago or a month ago when he came to negotiate with the United States. There was some confrontation between him and Trump. The market didn't like that. So I don't know what's going to happen with this guy from Japan. I hope everything goes well and they are able to negotiate what they have to negotiate, and they have good news for us either Saturday or Sunday, and let us know, if there's going to be a deal with the tariffs. If they announce and have good news, then I think the stock market is going to take it well, and it's going to continue to move up. So Panda, thank you for being here, Panda. Appreciate it. What platform do you use? I use TradingView. That's it. That's the one I like. There's another one called Thinkorswim, but I kind of like this one. All right, let's get some of the comments and start there. So those are some of the news I wanted to share with you guys. I have a couple other things that I'm going to share, but if you guys ask about certain stocks, I'll share some of those news that are connected to those stocks. So Icor, thank you for sharing the live. Appreciate it. Rusty, follow. Appreciate it. User, Cash App, give me a ticker. We can look at that. See platform, we got that. What's the best day to trade? So Nathan, like I mentioned, Friday is a bad day. Other than that, I mean, Mondays, Tuesdays, they're not bad days. If you narrow down to the times, I can tell you what times are best to trade. What about cryptocurrency? Rusty, I don't do crypto. I don't know the fundamentals, to be honest with you. I know what crypto is. I know it's a currency. I know Bitcoin has been breaking records. I think what is Bitcoin like right now? Even though I don't trade it, I still like to keep up with the news. So still at all-time highs. It kind of rejected, the 111, but it's within that range. So we'll see where it goes from here. There's nothing. I mean, that's it. That's the all-time high. So from here, crypto could reject. It could go down. It all depends on what kind of news we get. The dollar has been depreciating. So when the dollar depreciates, Bitcoin tends to go up because a lot of people are putting their money in a currency that does not devaluate, and I think that's what's been going on because the dollar has been losing value, so crypto is gaining value. So I think that's the reason why it had this pump. But I don't do um, crypto. When I found out about crypto, it was already at 70K, 75K. So I mean, at that point, most people knew about it, um, and I didn't want to get into this because it's a whole different market to study this. Same thing with forex. That's a whole different market. It's a market that is open at different times. Okay, forex is the currency exchange, like the dollar, the euro, the pesos, and those markets open at different times of the day. I don't have the time to be trading at 2 a.m. or 3 a.m. when those markets open. Same thing with Bitcoin. Bitcoin is open 24/7. All the cryptocurrency is open 24/7. So, you know, I would hate to be asleep and then this drops to like 100K if I put my money into this. Just because, again, Bitcoin and cryptocurrency, they don't sleep. Um, Tina Turner, thank you for the follow. Appreciate it. And if you guys help me with the tabs on the screen, if you enjoy my answers, if you are here today, just giving me some of your time. Appreciate the tabs on the live. That helps with the algorithm of TikTok to kind of spread the video with more people and get more followers, grow the channel. So that helps a lot. So if you guys can help me with the tabs, that'd be awesome. And I'll get to your question as soon as I can. Nathan, thank you for the follow. Appreciate it. What are the best bonds? The best bonds? I mean, it depends on your time frame. There are the government bonds. Is that what we're talking about? There is a 6 month yield. There's a 10. I'm sorry, the 2 year yield, the 5 year, the 10 year yield, the 20, the 30. It depends. It depends what kind of what your wait time is. What do you want to do with the bond? How much money you want to put in the bonds? So it's up to you. But I mean, I would say maybe a year, because a year offers, I think, like 3% right now. It depends. Marlene, thank you for the follow. I'm learning so much in the last few minutes than the last week of studying trading. Thank you, Marlene. No problem. What I like to share is, one, I like to share how to read charts, and two, I like to share the news, because the news move the charts. Sometimes charts, I mean, a lot of times charts are important, but lately with the new administration, the news that they release, that's what's been moving the market. Okay, if they have good news about tariffs, markets go up. If they have bad news, markets go down. If Trump says buy stocks now, that pumps the market. I mean, you've seen that a couple times already. He likes to post on what's his social media app? Trump social media or something like that. I know it's not Twitter or X. Um, so whenever he posts on his social media, and it's not X, Spooner. I don't think it's X. It's called Trump DJT. I know it's DJT. Donald Trump social media, whatever that is. He likes to post there, and sometimes when he says Truth Social, there you go. Thank you. That was Unique. Thank you for that. Unique Naturals. Truth Social, Kashuma. Yeah. So that's the one that he posts on. And whenever he says, buy stocks now, stocks markets are going to skyrocket, then, I mean, guess what happens with the stock? It usually pumps, because that's what lately has been moving the market, not really the technicals. I mean, you can look at this chart up here for Bitcoin or for Google or any stock, and I mean, you can look at this and kind of have an educated prediction of what's going to happen tomorrow, and then news release, and everything goes to crap. Like all your analysis, all your candles, all your SMAs, they go to the trash, because the news are the ones that move the market, not really your analysis. So everything could go wrong, if you know how to read charts. So I like to stay up with the news, know what's going on, share those news with you, so that you guys know what to expect tomorrow with the market. All right. Let's see. MVP, thank you for the follow. Appreciate it. Paul Guerrero, thank you for the follow. Appreciate it. If it's the first time here, for those of you that are barely joining, or it's your first time, my name is Gerardo. I do trade, swing trade, and I also invest in the long term. So I buy stocks like SPY, like QQQ, and I put those in a separate portfolio so that I can just put money every now and then, and buy those stocks, and hopefully, in about 10 years, I can have a good amount there where, I can just retire and live off the compound interest that, that portfolio creates. So thank you. Market reacts more with Trump now than with Powell. Nathan, yeah, absolutely, man. Um, I think with Powell, for those of you that don't know, Powell is the president of the Federal Reserve, and he's the guy that ultimately makes the decision on interest rates. Right? He decides where interest rates are gonna go, and typically the market is always watching what Jerome Powell says. And for the past meetings, he's been very flat. I mean, he doesn't give out straight answers. He just says, we are looking at the economy. We're waiting for more data to know if we're gonna cut rates. We don't know. We don't know what's gonna happen with tariffs. Are they gonna be inflationary? So we need more data. We need more data. That's all he says. And at this point, I don't think the market pays much attention to Powell because he really doesn't give out some good news or bad news. Okay, which is great. I mean, as long as he doesn't give good news and stays neutral, perfect. Um, Unique, thank you for the follow. Appreciate it, Unique Naturals, and for sharing the live. And if you guys are new to the channel and are sharing the live, also if you guys can help me with the tabs, like the this channel and like the live, that is well appreciated because that's how I get paid. I mean, in quotations, because I don't get paid for the likes, right? But for me, that tells me that you guys appreciate the content, appreciate the time that I spend, here Monday through Friday, 9 to 11 Pacific time, sharing just some of the stuff that happens in the market during the day, and sharing what to expect for the next day. So that's all I ask. If you guys can tap the screen, um, I that would be greatly appreciated. What about gold? Unique. So gold has been going up in record. Again, it's just because. So this is what happens. Usually, when there's uncertainty, just like the bonds that I mentioned earlier, when you don't know where stocks are gonna go, because Wall Street likes to know where stocks are gonna go. They like to know when there's a little uncertainty that they don't know if stocks are gonna drop, then they move the money out and they put it into places where it's not as volatile, or places where they know they're gonna get a return no matter what happens. One of them is the bonds. They know they're gonna get a return because they pay 5% and that doesn't move. Now, sometimes they move the money to gold because gold is not as volatile. And that's why gold's been going up, because a lot of people are pulling the money out of the market, okay, with the volatility, and then gold's been going up. So it's a sword, a double-edged sword. You know how they call it, because if you put your money in gold, but then they come out with news that no more tariffs. China, there's a deal with China, there's a deal with Japan, there's a deal with Vietnam, there's a deal with India, everything's going well. Then people are going to pull their money out of gold and back into the stock, because the stock market has better returns. Markets move more up and down, so they can make more money for investors. So they take their money out of gold that usually typically doesn't move. That's been the history. It does go up, but very slow. But in the past 4 months, I believe, since January, I think gold has gained about 25%. That's the last thing I saw. It might be in a whole different level now. I don't know. I don't invest in gold. I like the stocks, even though they're volatile. I still like the stocks. But that's what's been happening with gold. So it's a risk. But right now, because there's a lot of uncertainty, a lot of people are just putting their money in gold. So that's what I think. Sharon, thank you for the follow. Appreciate it. Spooner, X, yeah. So the True Social, yeah, that's what it's called. I forgot. I know that, but I forgot about that. Evan, thoughts on quantum stocks? So quantum stocks. Here's the thing with quantum stocks. For those of you guys that haven't heard, back in November of last year, November, September or November, somewhere around that time last year. Google released this chip that's called a quantum chip, which is supposed to be 1,000 times more powerful than any chip on any computer. Okay, so just to kind of give you an idea, they said that the most powerful computer right now would take about 600 years. I think they said 600 or 6,000. It would take that much time to compute, difficult calculations. It will take 600 years to the most for the most powerful computer that we have now. And now what they released, a quantum chip called Willow, I think it's called. Um, that chip would take 5 minutes, okay, for a computer that they will create with that chip, okay, with that quantum chip. So if you compare 5 minutes with that chip to 600 and using the most powerful computer that there is right now out there, that's a huge difference. So that started pumping all of the stocks that are connected to quantum computing. Okay, stocks that were, I think I have one of them. One of them is Rigetti, QBTS. I think that's another one. I have them right here. Let's see, Rigetti. So you see, so all of these here started pumping when that the news came out. That was in October. So somewhere around October, you see that stock was worth $1, and then from $1 it went all the way to like $20. But you see this big pump here, okay? Because of the news, by the rumors of the news, right? So because of those news, the stock pumped. But then people realize, wait a minute, what can we do with the quantum chip? How long is it gonna take for us to create something that makes money with the quantum chip? So investors right away say, well, wait a minute, we got pumped for nothing. We don't know how companies are gonna make money with this chip. Let's take out the money, take out some profits, and that's what the stock dropped again back to $10, and I think at one point it was back to $6, and right now it's pumping again. So problem with those kind of stocks is that not that they don't have potential. They could have huge potential, okay? But as of now, companies don't make money with the quantum chip, okay? It's still in the works. It's still, trying out what they're going to do with that chip, how that chip is going to make money for companies. So there's a lot we don't know yet because it's a new technology, so it's going to take some years to develop, and eventually we'll know what that's going to look like, how that's going to create revenue for companies, and they could take off. So if you don't mind uh, putting in money into quantum chips and then leaving it there to see if hopefully in a few years that doubles or triples or maybe 100 times your money, it wouldn't hurt. It wouldn't hurt. But that's again, if you don't mind losing that money or leaving that money there for years until the companies discover how they can make this profitable. Okay, I hope that makes sense. Um, where's the best place to get news? Yeah. I get the news from different places. I have TradingView here, as you can see, where I have the chart. I have a tab here with a bunch of news that come out. I also have this website. Let's see, in Chrome, where I get news. It's called let's see, Finbiz, and then I get news right there. So I get these news, and I am part of a community, part of a group in WhatsApp, where we filter all of the news and then we share them with each other. Okay, the most important news that come out that will move certain stocks, the stocks that we trade specifically, we share them with each other. We have a summary, and then we decide what to do with the stock based on the news that came out. So I mean, there are a lot of places where you can get the news. This is how I get them. I do my personal research, and then I look at my group and share what kind of news are coming out. so that we know what to do and what kind of moves to make. So that's how I get the news. But again, even Yahoo gives you good news, but this is a good tool. It's called Finbiz, as you can see here, and this usually releases a bunch of news like every couple minutes, and you get like the highlighted news, at the top. All right, let me go to my chart of TradingView. Okay, let's keep going with the questions. Why is it taking Wall Street so long to get back into the market? Evan, what do you mean? Like putting money? They have been. I mean, if you look at SPY, okay, SPY back in about a month and a half ago, it was at 480, 490. And in a month and a half ago, it recovered about 20%, which is something we've never seen before. SPY always recovers. Okay, there's no doubt about that. But it doesn't take a month and a half. Usually it takes 6 months, maybe a year, maybe 2 years, and it gets back to their all-time highs. But this time was different. Okay, this time it recovered in a month and a half, which is, I'm pretty sure it's a record time. I haven't looked it up, but I'm pretty sure it's a record time for recovery. So they've been putting money back into the market. So investors are kind of gaining confidence that the market is going to do well. And like I said earlier, I think the market is trying to hit all-time highs before it drops again. We'll see if that happens. Let's see. Where's the best place to get news? Okay, yeah. So I shared that with you. Yeah. So I hope that helped you a little bit. Unit gold, will it go up? I think we talked about gold, right? So I mean, I don't know. It's hard for me to tell you. I wouldn't be accurate if I told you, yeah, it's gonna go up, because I don't know. But I told you the different things that you can look at. Typically, if the stock market goes up, then gold goes down. And as of now, there is nothing that I can see, no news that tells me that the stock market is going to drop. Okay, because it already tried to drop last Friday with the Moody news on downgrading the credit of the United States. The market didn't drop. Then yesterday we had the auction with the bonds that people or some countries were not buying the United States bonds, and that made the stock market drop again. But none of these drops have been significant to the point that you see a reversal, that you see the stock now going down. It's been trying to recover. And if, like I mentioned earlier, if the stock market goes up, then gold is going to lose a little value. I don't know how gold is doing right now. If you can send me you have the ticker symbol? See, GOD. Is that the one? Okay, GOD. T Gold Trust. Okay, so I mean, you see some highs of. Is this the one? Is this the ETF for gold? Is this the one you're talking about, Unique? So as you can see, it's been very choppy, and today there was not a lot of movement from 305 to like 303, so it closed negative. But again, that was the same movement of the SPY. I mean, the SPY opened at 582, it closed at 583. So there was just like $1 difference. If the SPY goes up, gold is gonna go down. Okay, so keep track of those. If there are bad news on the market and we get something crazy tomorrow, then maybe a good time to buy gold. But gold is at record highs, all-time highs. So also you got to be very careful there, because if it's at all-time highs, that's when a lot of investors start to sell, because they want to take some profits, right, at the top. You don't want to sell at the bottom, you want to sell at the top. So a lot of these guys that do this for a living, a lot of the institutions that put in money into safer stocks, they like to take profits. They have to, okay, because they have to pay their investors. So if you're buying at all-time high, then chances are you buy at all-time high, the stock drops, and then it'll be a while until you get your money back. So just be careful on that if you're trying to enter into gold. Did you buy UNH shares, Nathan? I did. I only bought some, just because I know United Health. Let's look at United Health. United Health could still drop. There was a little bit of a buyback the by insiders. So the CEO and the CFO, they bought millions of shares. I think the CEO bought like 20 million worth of shares, and then the CFO bought about I think he bought like 10 million. So it was a total of $30 million that they spend on buying shares for UNH, and that's why the stock market kind of had this jump. You see that? So since it dropped 250, 245, then from there it just started to recover a little bit, and it's kind of been a little choppy for the last couple of days. But UNH still has problems. It's still dealing with that investigation from the DOJ about them committing fraud. Then on top of that, you have all of these news about cutting money for Medicare, cutting money for Medicaid, and all of those news will affect the stock because the stock depends on Medicaid and Medicare to bill their clients and get some revenue. So now, because they didn't release a guidance for the next 3 months, we don't know what their earnings are going to be. Okay, and investors like to know. They like to know what their earnings are going to be, and that's why companies release a guidance. This time they did not release a guidance, so that's why investors left the stock, because they don't. Again, investors don't like uncertainty. They hate it, and that's why it was a big sell off for UNH. But I did buy some. I think at 280, 290, somewhere around there. I just bought like 5, 10 shares. If it drops more, maybe I'll get some more for the long term, but it's at my own risk, right? If I lose that money and United Health goes to $100, it's at my own risk. So I don't know where United Health is gonna go. I hope it does recover. I hope the news on them committing fraud is false, and they come out and say, hey, it's fine, we didn't commit fraud, and that's gonna help the stock pump up. But as of now, because of the bad news, it'll be a uh, very risky investment. So be careful with UNH. I'm sorry, there's a delay. I didn't mean to ask twice, but thank you for the explanation. No problem, Unique. Hey, if there's a delay, no problem. Just keep asking your question. I'll get to it. I promise. And if I am answering your question, guys, and you guys like the questions, you're new to the live. Again, you're new to this channel. Please go ahead and hit the follow button, and also tap the screen for more likes. It helps me a lot to try to get the lives to more people and make this channel a little bit more popular. So appreciate you guys tapping the screen. Appreciate you guys sharing the live if you can, and also follow me if you guys want to or do not want to miss the lives Monday through Friday, 9 to 11. So okay, let's get going with the more questions. Did another person resign? Callejon, from who? From United Health? No, not that I heard. It was just the CEO that resigned, and then a new CEO stepped in. Which this guy, he was a CEO for the same company back in 2007, I think I read, or 2014, somewhere around that time. But he's still there. So JF98, follow the whole. Thank you for the follow. Appreciate it. What's your opinion on AMD? Let's look at AMD. I think AMD dropped today, didn't it? Or it was pretty flat. Let's see. Not one of my favorites, just because the competitor is Nvidia, and Nvidia is just a giant. They are not gonna let AMD grow. Let's look it up here. So AMD, I know I have it, but usually I lose it with all these stocks. So in the daily candles, it doesn't look very good. It's been dropping. It had good news, and that, I mean, that's the main problem. It's got some gaps to fill. If you see this little gap here, it's not huge, but it's a little gap right there. This stock jumped when they had good news. Well, that gap they already filled that gap. The stock dropped. I'm sorry, it jumped when they announced that they were going to be selling some chips to Saudi Arabia. They closed that deal. Was it last week or the week before that? No, it was last week. The CEO of AMD, she was I forgot her name. What's her name of the CEO? Anyways, she was at in Saudi Arabia, and she closed a deal that will make that's going to make AMD like 260 million, something like that, and that made the stock finally break that downtrend. Because if we look at the downtrend here, let me show you the chart, right? Look at the weekly. I think it'd be better. So you guys are gonna see the downtrend here. Okay, when a stock is in a downtrend, a lot of investors, especially the big investors, they don't like to put their money into something that is dropping. And you guys can see that AMD, ever since they hit all-time highs back in March of 2024, it had been in this downtrend. You see that? Hitting different resistance here, hitting resistance right there, and then just keep making it kept making higher lows. So higher low, and then keep doing the same thing until the news from last week, when they closed this deal with Saudi Arabia where they're going to be selling those chips. Then it finally broke that little downtrend line. See, it's trying to get out of there, it's retesting that line, and then from there I hope that it does go up. It has to retest it though. It has to hit it, it has to create a green candle above it, so that we know, okay, now it's probably moving up. I do trust AMD. I think AMD is a good company. It's definitely, creates a lot of revenue. It had good earnings, so when they reported earnings last time, they beat EPS, which is the earnings per share, by a tiny bit, but they did beat it, and they also beat earnings. So they created more revenue than the revenue they were planning. They brought in 313 million more than they were planning. So revenues were not, I mean, they were not huge, but they were okay. They were positive. So that's what you want to see from companies: good revenue, good EPS, good market cap, and good EPS, good volatility. So all of these different things you want to see in a company to know that, hey, this is a good company to invest in. So I like AMD, but at this point, because Nvidia is just way more powerful and it's cheaper too, cheaper in terms of PE ratio. Okay, I explained the other day what PE ratio is. Really quick, is just the value of the company based on its earnings, and AMD is at $82 right here. So which means that I have to invest about $82 in AMD to make $1. And if you look at Nvidia, which is the other company that does the same thing, they sell chips, and Nvidia has a price to earnings ratio about 44, so about half the value of AMD. So for me, this is a cheaper company to buy, and that's why I put my money in Nvidia rather than AMD. So I hope that that explanation helps. Um, let's see. Let's see. Get the questions. AMD. Okay, so we got that. Invest in UNH, but honestly, scary. Wait for 288. Yeah, I mean, like I said, it still has trouble, peak trades. So as long as the company has trouble, then it's hard to know where it's gonna go. Insiders, honestly, why I'm confident, major OB on it. Now, I mean, obviously, if you're an insider, you are the CEO of the company. You know the company better than anyone else. You know that you're putting your money in a company that might be safe. So that might be the reason why they're putting their money in, because they know there's no trouble in the company. I don't know, but definitely I would wait just to get some news. I mean, unless I you know an insider, and we are putting money into this company and it's a safe bet, you know, let's do it. But until we know more, I wouldn't risk my money, just because I like my money to be safe. UNH bottom was 250, but I don't see good future there. Yeah, I mean, long term, I think this company is gonna be fine as long as there is no fraud. This company should be fine, should recover little by little, because it's one of the biggest healthcare companies in the United States. So I honestly, um, I think it'll be fine in the long term. but again, it depends on how long you're willing to wait if you invest in this company. Cowboy Space, Pepe, that's crypto, isn't it? I think that's a cryptocurrency. Pepe, market cap, crypto. Yeah, I knew it. I don't do crypto, man, just because I is this the one, Pepe? I'm not sure. Cowboy, is this the one you're talking about? I don't really invest in crypto because one, I don't really know the fundamentals. I don't understand it much. I know what it is. I know it moves aggressively. I know it's open 24/7. So that's one of the main reasons I don't trade it, because I like to sleep and not have to look at this stock and see where it is. Or I don't like to wake up in the middle of the night thinking, hey, what's going on with this stock? Why is it dropping? So that's why I don't trade crypto. But I mean, if you do and you make money, by all means, man. I like to trade companies that have revenue, that I know and can predict where they're gonna go. So guys, if you guys are new to the channel, again, if you barely joined, my name is Gerardo. I am a swing trader. I also invest in the long term, and I also, I don't know if I mentioned that, but I have a real estate license. So I don't practice it because I think there's more money in the stock market for me to make than there is for me to sell homes. But I like it. You know, it's a good. I think it's a good business, and I've tried it, you know, a few times, so I know a lot of stuff about real estate, but I prefer the markets. So if you're new here and you guys like the answers I give you when I answer your question, please give me some likes, tap the screen, share the live if you guys can. I'm trying to grow the channel a little bit more, get some more people into the lives, and eventually, you know, be one of these channels, one of those channels that you can go to, ask the question about the market, so that you guys have a better opinion about, you know, trades and stocks and stuff like that. So all I'm doing is trying to help you understand a little bit more about the market, and then just sharing ideas with you, bouncing off. What do you think about the market? What do I think about the market? What do I think about some stocks? So I hope the information I give you helps you. So if it helps you, please tap the screen. Um, See, I want to buy AMD, but I'm scared. I don't know when is a good time to buy. JF, I mean, I can't tell you that information, man, because you know it's it's illegal to give people advice on when to buy stocks. But this is what I do. Okay, this is just my personal. This is my personal opinion on stocks. So first of all, I'm gonna buy a company that I know is gonna give me money. Okay, it's gonna my money is gonna be safe, and I like to start with the seven the seven magnificent companies they call them. Okay, which is Microsoft, which is Amazon, Google, Nvidia, Apple, Meta, Tesla, even other good companies that are not on this list, like Costco, like Walmart. All of those companies, I know they produce good earnings. I know they're strong companies. I've studied those companies. I've looked at their earnings. I've done research on how much money they make, how much money they have on cash, so that they can continue to expand their business, right? So I start there. I investigate the company, and I'm gonna create more videos in the future in my bio, so that you guys, if you haven't follow my bio. I'm gonna be dropping some videos on how to tell if a company is a good company. So once you figure out what company you want to invest your money in, when is it a good time to buy? Well, for me as a swing trader, I want to buy low, right? If you're an investor, it doesn't matter. If it's a good company, your money's gonna be safe and your money's gonna grow. So you can buy at any time because you're not gonna cash out until 10 years from now. So your money's gonna grow no matter what. But if you are a swing trader or a day trader, okay, I'm gonna speak from the day trader perspective. So as a day trader, what I like to look at is where is the stock in a downtrend or in an uptrend. You know, like Nvidia. I'm gonna give you that example because I bought Nvidia a couple month ago when it was on the way down, and this is when I bought. Okay, this is my criteria to buy stocks. So when Nvidia dropped because of the tariffs, okay, I started buying some at, I think it was at 116, so somewhere around this area. Okay, I bought some because I looked at the stock. I said it's a good stock. I see it dropping. I see it recovering a little bit, and then I look at this chart, at this indicator at the bottom, which is called the RSI. The RSI tells me when a stock is overbought or oversold. Since this stock had been dropping, I said, well, it's kind of getting a little bit oversold. Let me get some here. And I bought some shares. When you buy shares, you don't want to put all your money in. I just bought maybe, I think it was about 50 shares at the time. So I said, well, I'm going to buy 50 shares at this point. The stock went up, as you can see here, but then it crashed again. And when it dropped more than the price where I had bought some previously, I said, you know what? If it drops $5 more or $10 more, then I'm going to buy more. And then I looked at the RSI again. Somewhere around this area, which is somewhere around here, I bought some. Okay, I bought another 50. Then it went up, and I said, well, maybe now it's recovering. But then it dropped again. And when it touched this line here at the bottom, I don't know if you can see it right there, okay? That's when I said, you know what? I'm going to buy this aggressively. I'm going to buy 200 shares or 300 shares because I know that, even if it drops some more, I'm just going to buy more, okay? Because I know the company. The company is $1 trillion or $3 trillion company. I think it is it. Let's look at the market cap. Yeah, so if you guys see here, right here, okay, it's a $3 trillion company, which means I think at this time it is the most powerful company in the stock market because Google has a 2 trillion market cap. I think Apple used to be number one. They are at 3.01 market cap. Meta is at 1.60, so it's not even close. Tesla is at 1.1. Microsoft is at 3. So Microsoft is number one, and then you have Nvidia. So for Nvidia to be the second most powerful company in the stock market, if this company was to crash, okay, and go to zero, all of the companies in the Max 7 will drop, okay, because this company pulls all of other companies, and not just on this list. I mean, it will drop Walmart, it will drop Costco, it will drop all of the companies that you see in the stock market. It will definitely drop the SPY, the SPY, the QQQs. Everything will be dragged with this company. But this company is a good company, so there's no reason for the company to drop. But in the worst case scenario that it will drop, it will pull all of these other stocks with it, and that's not gonna happen, okay? At least not in the near future. So that's when I bought some more, okay? Again, you ask, when do you enter into a trade? That's how I enter into a trade. I buy little by little. Every time it drops, every time it touches, the RSI at the bottom, I buy more. If it's a company that I trust. If it's a company like AMD, I don't know that company is gonna recover because again, it's competing against Nvidia, and Nvidia is one of the big companies, one of the great companies that produces AI chips, and I know it's gonna keep growing. So my money is safe in that company. So that's how I buy it. See, one insider buy 1 million today. For UNH, you mean? Probably. I didn't see that on the news. The only thing I saw in the news was when the CFO and the CEO bought some shares. So that's what pumped UNH to, I think it hit 320 if I'm not mistaken. And that was on Tuesday. So it hit 322 and then it just dropped again. So it might be insiders buying because they know there are no problems with UNH. I hope it goes up. But as of now, again, I need to hear if there really was fraud with Medicare and United Health. Until I hear news about that, I'm not gonna enter into more trades. So I just like to play, on the safe side. I'd rather put my money into companies that are not in any trouble right now. Okay, let's continue with the questions. I got more questions. I got more people in the live, so I appreciate you guys. If you guys are new to the channel, hit the like button if you are asking a question. That's all I'm charging. Just the likes on the live. So I'm a little low on the lives today on the likes. So I think I'm gonna call it a night pretty soon because I'm not getting any love from you guys. But again, I enjoy answering your questions. So share the live, give me some likes, and let's get to the last few questions. Uh, Peak trades, just forget it for a few years, my friend. Yeah, yeah. So thank you for that. AMD below 90 is a good buy, but I won't recommend buying at 100. So Deegan, I mean it's AMD has been dropping for a while, so yeah, I think as of now, because of the good news it had, it pumped, it might drop again. It's competing against Nvidia, so that's hard. UNH used to be top two Dow Jones holding, so I think for the long term it's gonna be all right. Yeah, I I have the same opinion. I think it'll be all right in the long term. If Nvidia has good earnings, AMD will be a sympathy play. A good ER. Is that what you mean, Caldejon? Um, One insider buy. Okay, we got that. I want AMD. Okay, we got that question. Peak trades. Nathan Tesla. I wish he could went all in when Tesla was 220 in April. I think Nathan. I think it just dropped for like a day to 220, if I'm not mistaken. We'll look at Tesla in a minute, and I'm gonna share some news about Tesla that I read today. Um, Nathan Tesla. Okay. Kevs, thank you for follow. Appreciate it. Peak. Thank you for the follow. Also, Octavio, appreciate the follow, man. If you guys are new to the channel, new to this live, appreciate you guys following me, giving me your trust. I do my very best to look up for information during the day, reliable news and facts, so that I can share them with you, so you know what to expect on the market tomorrow. So, thank you for that. Peak trades, Tesla, yeah, tons. Thoughts on Infineon. Give me the ticker symbol. We can look at that before I leave. A lot of people taking about SoFi. Is that good? SoFi is a good company. I think it's a good company. It's got a lot of potential. It hasn't been moving a lot in the past couple of days. I think it hit all-time highs of about $18, and then it just dropped to 10 when the tariffs were announced, and it's been trending in between 12 and $14. It's been rejecting 15, which is a big. Um, let's see. Where's SoFi? I know I move my stocks all the time and I lose them. I need to create a better list. SoFi. So it hit resistance at about $15, and it's been trending in that channel for a little while. So you see that resistance at about 10, support at about $10, and then resistance at about 15, and it's just been in that channel. So as of now, it needs to have a good catalyst to break that 15 and maybe move to all-time highs. So we'll see if we get good news on tariffs, and this is gonna move this stock as well. Um, what is your analysis of SPY and QQQ for tomorrow? Unique, do you think they will trend up? Unique, earlier in the chat, I don't or in the live, I don't know if you heard me about Fridays being really bad for trades, because a lot of investors don't like to trade on Fridays, because they don't like to leave their money in there over the weekend, because anything could happen over the weekend. It could tank the stock market, and then they will be negative when the market opens on Tuesday, especially this week, because we have a holiday on Monday, so the markets will be closed, and they don't like to be uncertain about what's going to happen over the weekend, especially during this times where any news could just drop the markets. So Fridays are really bad for trading. There are no bad news that I've read so far up until this night. So I don't see anything really moving the market tomorrow. If anything, it's gonna be choppy. It probably go up a little bit, down a little bit, unless we have news from the administration that they come out and say, "Hey, we have a deal with Japan," because Japan will be the minister of, who was it? I don't know the name, but I know the title because I was looking at that. The chief trade negotiator. That's the title of Japan will be at the White House tomorrow, and they will be talking about tariffs. So that could move the market. That's the only thing that I see moving the market. Again, I don't know. Other than that, if they don't have any announcements of that are connected to tariffs, I don't think anything else is going to move the market. It's probably going to be very choppy tomorrow. If anything, it'll stay where it opened. But I don't really see the market moving too much. Um, if you're a long time investor, just buy VOO and some QQQ. Nathan, yeah, absolutely. I mean, those are the one of the best ETFs, or two of the best ETFs that you can find to hold for the long term. And they pay. I don't know if VOO pays dividends. I know SPY does, but I don't know about VOO. Nathan, it's a hype stock like Apple. Once Trump gets mad at Elon, it's over. Oh, that's right. Let me talk about Tesla. What about gold? I talked about gold, US boys earlier. So when the stock market goes down, gold goes up. When and vice versa, goes down, stock market goes up because investors put their money where there's more volatility, where they can get more money. Okay, let me talk about Tesla really quick. So Tesla, it really right now it's riding on the news of the release of the robotaxi in June. Elon talked about I think it was yesterday or the day before yesterday about Tesla. They said that the robotaxi will be ready by June. They're gonna have I think about 1,000 robotaxis, testing them on the street, and then by the end of the year they'll have a few more thousand more, and then sometime next year they'll have about 100,000. So he's planned to grow the robotaxi is something that the investors are really liking, and that's what the stock has been pumping. But any bad news at this point can break Tesla, just because their earnings were really bad last time they reported. They missed EPS, they missed the earnings. So any bad news could break Tesla back to probably 270, where they had a lot of support. So be careful with Tesla. This is a trade that experts can make a lot of money off. But if you are not an expert, Tesla could also make you lose a lot of money. So just watch out when you guys invest in Tesla. Very volatile stock, moves up and down. The earnings are horrible. They are not selling more cars. I think their sales in cars drop about 65%, last time I heard. So there are a lot of negative things about Tesla. The only thing pumping Tesla is again the fact that they're going to release a robotaxi next month, and a lot of investors are riding on those headlines. And today, what made Tesla a little bit more in the green candle is that one of the engineers from Tesla, he came out and he was pretty honest. He said, "Hey, we're competing with Waymo, which is the self-driving car from Google, okay, and we are about a year behind Waymo in regards to the full self-driving, okay, the car that's gonna drive by itself without any driver in the car. We're about a year behind. We're being very honest, but we're trying to catch up." So he seemed pretty honest about his answer, and for some reason investors like that answer. They like that he was honest, and then the stock pumped to what was it? Let's see. It went all the way to 347. It tried to break that 350 mark resistance, but it didn't really touch it. So it pumped there and it kind of stayed there all day. So those were the only good news about Tesla today. The honesty of this engineer to say that, hey, we're a little bit behind Waymo, another competitor, but we're catching up. We're trying to get there. So, and investors like that. Nathan, QQQ has been rough, absolute bloodbath this past days. Not really. I mean, QQQ, are we talking about the same one? QQQ has been recovering pretty nice. It actually, I mean, you can see here in the chart, it actually hit a pretty good resistance, which was about 520, 523, which, I mean, it's pretty good. Today was pretty rough, just because there was not a lot of movement, because of what happened yesterday. It tried to recover at some point, but I think it hit a good support, which is at about 513. It did not break it, If it does break 513, then it's gonna go to 510. If it breaks 510, then it's a bye-bye all the way probably until 500. So I hope that it doesn't break that resistance, because if it does, it is going to be a bloodbath, like you said, if it does break the 513 mark. Juan, Olis, how you doing, man? Are you? I don't know if you just joined the live, but appreciate you being here. And if you have questions about stocks, about what to invest, just drop them here, and we'll share them with the rest of the people who are here in the live. So if you guys are new to the live again, my name is Gerardo. I do swing trade, and I also invest in the long term, and I also have a day job during the day. So I only do this in the morning from 6:30 a.m. when the market opens until 8:30 a.m. By the time I have to go to work, and then I come back, I study the markets, I read the news throughout the day, and I have a group, a community where we share all of the news that happen during the market, so that I know what kind of moves and when to put my stop losses, or when to start selling my shares, so that I can make some profits. So so thank you guys for being here. If you're new to the channel again, thank you for giving me some of your time, so that we can share some of the stuff that happened in the market and what could happen tomorrow. So if you guys are new, go ahead and follow a live. Follow this channel, so that you don't lose or miss on the lives that we have here Monday through Friday, 9 to 11. Brandon, SPY. See, SPY, it did drop because of the news yesterday of the bond market, and today didn't really move much. So it found support at around 582, 580. So I hope that it doesn't break that support, because if it does, it's gonna try to touch the 200 SMA somewhere around 575. It's been wanting to fill in this gap. You guys see this purple box here? That's a gap that the SPY left when it jumped last week of Monday last week, and on the news of China. So it jumped, and gaps always fill. So if it drops, it's probably going to fill that gap. Brandon, let's see. Microsoft number one, absolutely, man. That's a great stock. I had some stock there. I had to take some profits. I bought it at like 390, and I took some profits at 430. I didn't know it was gonna go up to 450, but hey, I made a profit, so I'm not mad about it. It was just for a swing trade. So let's see. Peak trades, yeah, but I love Microsoft better than Apple. Nathan, yeah, Apple right now it's struggling a little bit because of the conflicts it has with Trump. So Trump doesn't like Apple trying to build factories in India, and they want their factories to be made in or built in the U.S. So Apple is kind of having a confrontation with the administration. What Norberto? Hey, what's up, man? How you doing? I told you about Quantum, bro. Flying, QBTS, Rigetti, Ion. Yeah, you mentioned it the other day. Again, if I put money into Quantum, it's just because we talked about it the other day. It's money that maybe I don't mind losing in case the stocks drop. So because as of now, I don't know how much money they're gonna make in once they develop this technology. I don't know if it's gonna be profitable or not, but if you don't mind it for the long term, for those of you that are interested in quantum, all the stocks that are connected to quantum computing, they might have good potential. But again, I like to put my money where I know for sure that it's gonna grow. Quantum it's sort of a little bit of a bet, because we don't know how much that's gonna create in revenue for those companies. But Norberto seems like he's been doing a lot of money. He talked to me about making, I don't know, he made a lot of money on Tesla, Norberto, was it? Or some stock where you made a lot of money. I forgot what it was. But congratulations to you, man. I kind of disagree on the long term. I just imagine how much money I could make between that time. Calijon, long term is, there are so many different ways to make money besides buying high price shares. Long term for me, it's like, at one point I don't have to work, I don't have to even trade if I don't want to, and the stocks will still make me money because I have a portfolio that creates a compound interest every year, right? One day I want to be in that position where I don't even have to look at this. I don't have to stress about the news and the bond market selling off or tariffs. Like those news will not affect me because I know my portfolio is safe and it'll make money for me. So I think long term is a good way uh, to put your money in a safe place. Okay. And if you don't like to look at this kind of stuff every day, and you don't have the time, you want more time for your family, you want more time to go on vacation, then long term is going to do that for you. But I mean, definitely in swing trading and day trading, there's a lot more money to be made, but there's also a lot of risk. I don't know if you agree with that. There's a lot of risk, trading. So that's for everyone. There's a lot of risk trading. Long term, the risk obviously drops significantly. Nathan, Microsoft number one. Yeah, absolutely. You don't trade options, bro. Calijon, I only do cover calls. So I don't do options. I'll do cover calls. Weren't you the one that made like 30,000 on Tesla? I think somebody in the live the other day said that they made like 20 or 30,000 in Tesla by trading options. I don't do options just because with options you have to be right on the strike price and you have to be right on the expiration date. And those two things, are really hard to hit. If you do and you're lucky and you did your research, perfect. There are people that only specialize in options and they make a lot more money than people who swing trade. I just prefer to do a swing trade because again, I I like to play it safe and play with my own money and my own shares. Ruben, thank you for the follow. Appreciate it. John, thank you for the follow. Why I lost that. Why username? Thank you for the follow. Appreciate it. Calijon stocks. Gotta invest a lot to make a little. Options, invest a little to make a lot. True. Yeah, you with a little money you can make a lot. But you could also lose a lot, right? We gotta tell people and be honest. Uh, you could risk a little bit, but you could lose that amount easy. Okay, right, Calijon. I mean, you wouldn't disagree with that, right? You could win a lot, but then you could also lose your money. So I'm buying Reddit and GEV. Um, Reddit, that's a new platform, right? The social media platform, Alberto. Please understand, guys, there's money on both sides of the stock. Um, yeah, like if it goes down, yeah, I mean you can make money when the stock goes down. You can make money when the stock goes up. So you can make money both ways. Sold my call on UNH. What was it called? And title, what was it called? What was the strike? John Matthew, SA, Nvidia, it's an easy call. And title, yep. I mean, Nvidia, you kind of you're able to predict where it's gonna go, just because of the revenue that they bring and how solid of a company it is. And title, earnings. Nvidia has earnings next Wednesday, on the 28th after the market closes. Um, I have stocks in Nvidia. I did a covered call last week and I made like I think like $1,000 on that covered call. But I was trying to make another covered call today before it. Oh no, was it today? Yeah, today. For next Friday. I was very tempted, very very tempted to make a cover call. The cover call was gonna give me about $3,000 to $4,000. But the problem is that they have earnings on Wednesday, and I mean, if the cover call doesn't play out, I still make my $3,000 to $4,000. But the problem is that if the stock drops, then I'm kind of missing that opportunity because I'm trying to sell this stock before earnings because you never know where earnings are gonna go. With especially with Nvidia, they could have excellent earnings, which I think they will. I think they're gonna have good EPS and they're gonna have good earnings. But even if they have good earnings, good EPS, the stock can still drop based on their guidance. I think their guidance is gonna be great too. That's just my opinion, okay? Because I've seen Nvidia, I've seen all the deals they've been closing. I know they're gonna create more revenue. The CEO is on top of things, trying to close more deals, make more money for the company. They're innovating every year, making chips that are more powerful. But the Wall Street wants perfection with Nvidia. Everything has to be pristine with Nvidia. Otherwise, it's gonna drop. I don't know what's gonna happen. Norberto, what do you think about Nvidia? I mean, give us your opinion on Nvidia. Do you think they're gonna um, the stock is going to go to all time highs after earnings? What do you believe? Um, let's see. Foot Locker puts. Foot Locker. I think they reported Trey. Foot Locker. Give me the ticker symbol. We can look at that. Hey, what's your trading? I'm a swing trader, Alonso. Um, what? I'm a swing trader. I'm sorry. What's your take on RGC, John? RGC. Let's take a look at RGC. RGC. Biosaladin Holdings Limited. I think I looked at this company the other day. Um, wow, it's been pumping, but there's not a lot of data on this company. I mean, it was a $10 company not that long ago, and it pumped. I wonder if they partner up with someone, and that's why the stock ripped. Um, so here's my only thought on this company. I don't know what it does. I don't know why. It's a pharmaceutical company. I don't do that. I don't do pharmaceuticals. But here's what I can see on this chart. Right, it pumped, and now it's very far away from the 200 SMA, from the 50 SMA, from the 20 SMA. And when the stock typically is that far away from the SMAs, the moving averages, they tend to pull back and touch one of them, either the 20, the 50, the 200. A good stock usually stays above the 200, but it definitely has to hit, the 20 and the 50 to have a healthy growth. Okay, I don't know why it's pumping. You might know more about it, but that's just my opinion. If I try to enter at this point and it's so far away from the SMAs, my gut tells me, hey, based on this analysis, I think the stock is gonna drop to either the 20 or the 50. Maybe then if it respects that, and if it bounces off the 20 or the 50 and it jumps, then maybe I can enter into a trade. But as of now, I wouldn't touch it. Okay, that's just for me. Saida, John. Saida, I think I looked at that company also last week or sometime at the beginning of this week. Saida is a penny stock. Okay, it's right here. Penny stocks have a lot of risk. They could pump, but they could also drop as much as they pump. Okay, so it's a pump and dump. What they know as a pump and dump stock. I know people are talking about it right now. I've seen it on TikTok. Like buy Saida and blah blah blah. But this stock is, I think it had even a reversal split. So because it had that reverse split, those companies are not good. When they do that, is because they don't want to get delisted from either the Nasdaq or the other indexes that have some requirements. So this company had a reverse split to meet that requirement so that it wouldn't get delisted. And I think now it's been pumping because they bought some company, I believe. But again, I mean, you could see the big pumps that this company has, right? It pumps, it dumps, it pumps, it dumps, and then again, it pumps, dumps, pump, dumps. So very dangerous company. I don't put my money into those companies because I don't know where it's gonna go. What about Meta, Luis? Meta is a great company. I mean, Meta, it's innovating. It's got a lot of products coming out. Right now, I mean, it hasn't been moving very much for the past few days, with lows of 620, highs of 660, 640. So no bad news on Meta. I think it's trying to recover that all-time high. I don't know if it's gonna get there, but it's definitely broke the downtrend, a while back. So hello, why username? Thank you for being here. Thank you for being in the live. What's your opinion on Pepe? I don't do crypto just because I don't fully understand it, and it's very unreliable, and it's open 24/7. I don't like to be watching that stuff when I'm sleeping, or thinking about it when I'm sleeping. Mostly equities as swing positions. Jim, mostly equities on swing positions. What do you mean? MTTB, follow the host. Thank you for the follow. Appreciate it. And MTTB, cover calls. How much can you lose in a trade? PHX. I don't lose money in the cover calls because I risk my own stocks. So I'm gonna upload a video on cover calls. I was thinking about making a video so that you can check my profile probably by Saturday. Okay, I'll drop a video on cover calls. So the basics of cover calls. You bet against the market. You need to have 100 shares, and you bet against the market that your stock is gonna go up to, let's say if I bought them at 100, I'm betting the market that my stock is gonna go to 110. Okay, by the end of next Friday. And then the market says, okay, I'm gonna pay you for that bet, for that contract, because it's called a contract. I'm just calling it a bet. I'm gonna pay you uh, $300. No, I'm just putting an amount. I'm paying you $300 if the stock that you own gets to 110 by next Friday. I'm going to give you those $300, and then I'm going to give you what your shares are worth. If you bought at 100 and now it's at 110, well, I'm gonna pay you all of that. I'm gonna pay you all the gains, and I'm gonna give you the money for your shares back. So you're gonna get 3 wins. You're gonna get your shares back, right? What they're worth. You're gonna get the $10 that you earn for each one of the shares, and you're gonna get your premium, which is what I'm paying you for placing that bet, for buying that contract or selling that contract. So you have a win-win-win, right? Now, what's the worst case scenario? There are two scenarios. One is that instead of the stock going to 110, it goes to 120. So what happens then? Well, your earnings stop at 110. You're still gonna receive your stocks back. You're gonna get your premium, and you're still gonna get the gain from 110. I'm sorry, from 100 to 110. You're still gonna get all of that stuff that I mentioned earlier. Now the difference from 110 to 120, if the stock goes to 120, that is something that the market keeps. So I didn't risk anything. I won even if the stock went higher than my prediction for next Friday. Now, what if the stock goes down? Instead of going to 110, it goes to 90. Well, I still keep my shares. If the contract expires by next Friday, I keep my shares and I keep the premium. I keep the money that the market paid me for that bet. So I didn't lose anything because I still keep my shares and I still keep my premium. The only difference is that I didn't have the gain from 100 to 110. Does that make sense? I hope that makes sense. So no risk for cover calls. See, what's your opinion on? Okay, so we talked about Pepe. MTB, follow the host, cover calls. Okay, I explained that. Sunnyside, thank you for the follow. Appreciate it. Can you pull up FTAI? Okay, let's look at that, Norberto. FTAI. Is this the one? Aviation something? Is this the one, Norberto? I don't know. I'm not sure if I typed that correctly. FTAI. FTAI chart. Okay. What is this company? It's a company, aerospace and defense. Okay, on the daily, it's below the 200. So, I mean, you mean this for like a trade or a swing or a short? What are you trying to do with this stock, Norberto? Because it doesn't look very good. I mean, it's in a downtrend from all-time highs at around 170, and it's been making higher lows, 157, 123, and it's rejecting the 200. So I don't know if you want to use this for a short, maybe, possibly. What do you think about snow? Let's look about snow. Snowflake, and Snowflake. Oops, I didn't click on that. Okay, right there. Ooh, had a big jump. I wonder if they have. Oh, they have earnings. So they beat earnings. They beat EPS. That's why the stock jump. Typically, when stocks jump and they're positive, they wake up positive the next day. Typically, but also sometimes when it's a stock that is not a very reliable stock, a lot of the investors, they just take profits Okay, so tomorrow, watch for that. If you're invested in this company, watch it in the morning. My best guess is because it's a Friday and it's also a long weekend. If the stock jumped this much, a lot of the investors are going to start taking profits. So this might drop tomorrow a little, and then possibly fill in this gap. You see that big gap that it left right here? Those gaps are always filled. So if you are trying to enter tomorrow, it might not be the best time to enter. Again, not financial advice. You make your own choice. But if it was me, I wouldn't enter into this because it might pull back based on that huge jump that it had. No, sometimes stocks continue, but my feeling is because of tomorrow Friday, it might drop and pull back a little. Let's see. Yes, thank you for explaining, and the video explaining will be great. But I got it. Oh, perfect. So if you understand that, yep. So you understand the cover call. Do you your opinion? Oh, do you do options? Nighthawk. I don't do options. I just do cover calls. Unchained join. Thank you for joining. And do you do options? No, I don't do options. Like I said, I do cover calls, but that's pretty much it. I risk with my own. I risk my own stocks, not really uh, options, because that's you're playing with with the strike price, and you're playing with expiration date, and you have to be right on those two things with options. A lot of people are experts in that. I'm not, so that's why I stay away from options. I like to play what I know. So, all right. Well, guys, that is gonna be it for today. It's already 11. I gotta wake up early tomorrow to watch the market and get ready for work tomorrow. So, I appreciate you guys being here tonight and joining the live. I hope that you guys liked the information I had to share with you. And if you guys like to join me on lives Monday through Fridays, 9 to 11, really appreciate it. If you can share the channel, tap the screen for some likes, and I will see you tomorrow, Friday. See what happens. My prediction is, that the market is not going to move much if we have no news. But if we do have some news about deals or bad news, the market is going to choose a direction up or down. So thank you guys for being here again. I hope you guys have a great night and have a great Friday. I will see you tomorrow, 9 to 11.